for all you do to your body.
Then get off their butt in the back and get the people out here.
It's still real to me, damn it!
It's still real to me, damn it.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Gibby was heading to the grocery store, stopped by on his way through. Quick 8-hour trip up the road to Ohio. How you doing, buddy?
My wife's gonna be pissed about the milk.
Hey, you kept it on the seat warmer, so it'll be warm milk.
Yeah, we're trying to get some cottage cheese.
It's cheaper that way. You get a lot more logical thinking. Gibby, between the ropes. It's real.
We're back.
We're back.
Another weekly episode.
Another one. Make sure you like us on here. You subscribe on X, IG, TikTok, Blood Beer, BTR.
Watch the Spotify video.
Yeah, Spotify video.
I don't know if it's I watched it on Spotify.
I don't think the video's up.
Oh well, I listened.
Audio's up.
Yeah, the audio.
Yeah, listen on Spotify, Apple, anywhere but Pandora.
Listen to it on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube all at the same time.
Yeah, rack our views up.
Yeah.
We're looking at an 11-cent payout for January for our ads on Spotify. So that's a big deal.
Hey, that's exactly what I want to hear. I might quit my job. I might quit my job for 5.5 cents.
Hey, hopefully it covers the gas coming up here.
Hopefully it covers the tolls next time.
Oh, well, you just got to go straight through them. wait for someone to go and kind of piggyback along.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that because I pay for everything. All my subscription services. Right. All my tolls, everything that's ever existed.
You see that? The VPN, it's shut off on that big monitor there. So I'm paying for everything that is in use right now.
Well, I think it's because you're trying to hack into the FBI database to read the redacted Epstein files.
I'm not worried about that. We know what's up. If it's redacted, like, obviously. Is that it's under review. It'll be released in a week. It's
yeah. It's all black. It's just permanent marker pages.
They change the wording. They're like, everywhere it says Trump or someone high up did something, they're like, Trump did not.
It's handwritten. You know what's not in the Epstein files, Matt?
The Elimination Chamber?
Exactly. What do you want to talk about?
We can talk about the chamber. You know, the 4 matches it had were 4 matches, and they were good. I mean, the singles matches at all of these types of big events, the War Games, the Chamber, Money in the Bank, they don't mean as much, and they try to kind of rush through them. Got to see AJ Lee win.
Yeah, our boy Finn Balor, he did not secure the dub.
Got to stay with his best friends, though.
Yeah, I mean, until Monday. Rhea Ripley, the GOAT.
She did it again.
That shocked me.
Yeah,
shocker.
But not as shocking as the winner of the men's rumble.
Not Cody Rhodes.
Not Cody Rhodes. We thought we wrote Randy Orton off before LA.
Big time. I wrote Randy Orton as one of the first people to be eliminated. Trick Williams and Javon Evans, I thought were going to be.
Bless you.
Way up.
Woo!
I feel blessed. Woo! Trick Williams and Javon Evans, I had them in the final 3 with Cody Raheem Rhodes. All the African American athletes were wearing all gold, so that was pretty cool. But I had, the young guys with Cody Rhodes in there. Did not expect Randy Orton to pull off a dub.
I did not either, and then we find out that Cody's going to be getting a title shot against Drew, which could potentially set up a match with Randy Orton versus Cody, and that's going to give me what I've been asking for. One of them's going to turn heel.
Yeah, but how as, creative do you build up this storyline between Drew and Jacob Fatu and Cody, and then throw away Jacob Fatu for Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre on a random SmackDown?
Well, I tell you what I think happened. I think that creative's scrambling right now. I think that they were hoping to put Bronson Reed over and then when he lost the match, they were like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
We throw Jey Uso in. Then they're like, oh, man, we really don't want to use Jey Uso here. Let's throw Logan
Or at
Paul.
all. They shouldn't use him at all.
Hey, he looked good this week on
Raw. Why? Why do you think that is?
He didn't acknowledge the
Yeah, he didn't heed his way to the crowd. He came in how you're supposed to come in. He didn't
Yeah, he just silently.
It's just me,
And
Oosh.
then after he did his thing, he didn't eat party.
Yeah.
He just stared down the vision, and he did it right. So I was proud of him there. They're listening. You know, Triple H.
I think I think they're watching the podcast.
I
dude.
think they
I
are.
think they're watching the podcast.
I think they're watching. You know, we don't have a ton of viewers, but we got WWE creative listening.
Yeah,
like,
there are one of our few listeners.
and they listen.
It's a few of
us.
about to be a mini.
Yeah, few of about to be a nation of you guys. We're about to have
an army.
an army.
An army.
In the Bloodsport Network nation.
If we do get an army, I want to be called the Father of Dragons. Started watching Game of Thrones, guys.
I was gonna say, have you been watching Survivor?
No.
50th season just started. Coach is back, Dragon Warrior.
Okay.
Yeah. Aussie.
All right.
Aussie. You ever watch Survivor?
Not a day in my life.
Oh man, you're missing out. It's
Yeah, just like you listening to Ella Langley, you're missing out.
well, I didn't get around to Ella Langley, but I listened to a lot of Jamaican reggae rap this week. Damian Marley. Can't think of any. You know this bomb song. Bomb
Can't-
beat 'em.
can't-
We're gonna get copyright.
Can't say that. But it's still real to me, damn it. Let's get back to the wrestling.
Back to the wrestling. So Chamber. Nobody. I mean, I think everything other than CM Punk winning was kind of unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah.
Rhea, like you said, that's weird. And just like with creative, how do you go with the story from Fatu, Drew, and Cody? How does creative build up Rhea versus Jade? I know they have real life beef right now.
Yeah.
But when that's rushed and it's real life, we saw it last year with Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. Turns out kind of messy. And it gets messy quick.
But it was a banger match, Charlotte and Tiffany last year. I will say that like Rhea is probably the most recognizable face in WWE right now, or in professional wrestling. Like you have like John Cena was that, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, MJF to a degree. Hulk Hogan, San Martino. So I think that she's like the new face of wrestling. And I think you can do a lot with her, and you can put her in these matches, and she can thrive well, and she can make a story out of anything. I just don't know if the lack of wrestling that Jade's done, and the lack of appearances that Jade have, that not showing up backstage and choke slamming, Kari Sane or Selena Vega or someone like that. Like, how do you interact with a talent like that?
Yeah, and I also wonder, because we talked about it last week, maybe this is the first year that a woman main events WrestleMania. Rhea absolutely has all the makings to do it. Could you justify putting Jade in there, not just to the fans, but also to the other talent on the roster, someone that's so inactive, that's not putting the work in the way they all are week after week, and you're going to give her a WrestleMania main event for her second title defense in 154 days or so it'll be at that point.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be the year that a woman main events WrestleMania. And with Charlotte winning or Tiffany winning, like for sure you see it. But with Rhea, and there's what, 6 weeks?
Yeah, there's 6 weeks between Chamber and
Mania.
Yeah.
Like, how many 3-hour episodes of SmackDown with 4 matches can you really build up that storyline to make it main event WrestleMania? But at the same time, like, I could see it happening because creative, wants to be that type of promotion. Yeah,
they want to push it.
A bunch of first, women, the first to main event a major PLE in wrestling. I think, yeah,
ESPN.
yeah.
I could see them over pushing it, and I could see that it's gonna be similar to The Rock being involved with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns angle, where it's over pushed and the fans are begging them to stop because this just isn't it. You can't rush this kind of thing. And well, like I said, Rhea has all the makings to do it. I don't think Jade can do it. And when you have people out there wrestling week in and week out, I'll say it again, you can't. It's a slap in the face to everyone else on the roster, men and women, to have Jade Cargill main event WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, if they main event WrestleMania over Roman and Punk, and over Drew and Randy, or Cody and Randy, or a fatal four way between Drew, Randy, Jacob Fatu, and Cody Rhodes, like I think that's a major slap in the face because I mean, Jade Cargill wrestled what 3 matches before she got hurt,
Yeah.
and then she's back. She wins the women's championship, and now she barely wrestles. And what if I was someone like Kit Wilson, or someone like um, Tajari, no, not Tajari,
Really, any of the men's wrestlers.
Tozawa. If I was someone like Tozawa who worked 40 out of 52 weeks last year, and you just won a WrestleMania moment, and then you have someone like Jade Cargill who wrestled 4 times last year,
And she gets
and
that.
she gets a WrestleMania main event, let alone a moment, but she gets a main event.
Yeah, she's gonna get the moment no matter what. But the main event, it's so undeserved. And think about the men's title picture. Whether it's Drew, whether it's Cody, whether whoever's facing Randy, if that's the match that gets delegated after that, Drew talked about that title being put, down, being looked at as a second place uh, championship compared to the one that we see on Raw. So you do all that, and then all that does is solidify. And I mean, you're not going to have Roman and Punk not main event Mania. That's going to main event
Yeah,
Mania,
for
no
sure,
doubt.
and especially with the promos that they've been doing. I mean, I thought that was one of the better parts of Raw this week. Was the Roman Reigns coming out and CM Punk said, "I'm just gonna let you get what you want, and I'm gonna come out too, and we're gonna have a face to face." And no punches were thrown, but it felt angry. It felt like it was built, and it's not. It hasn't been. I mean, January, and they've came across each other like twice,
Yeah,
but the build-up's real.
every time you see them in the same area, you can cut the tension with a knife, even when they're on the same side. And Roman was apprehensive at War Games. He's like, I don't know about this. And, you can cut the tension with the knife. The heat's there. And it's just not there in the Jade and Rhea match. So, in Rhea, I don't think has enough time to build that match into what it needs to be. Not with someone like Jade, who to main event WrestleMania, it can't be a 10-minute match. It can't be a 5-minute match. It's got to be a 15,
Yeah, those are your
20,
big
30.
30-minute matches.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe it opens a show. I don't know. And
You
we're
gotta
saying
have
this
it
without
open.
Rhea Ripley being on SmackDown yet. So like, once we see her on SmackDown and interact with Jade face to face, like then we'll be able to tell. Especially with like the real life drama that it's too deep for us to go into.
Yeah.
Because we don't talk about real life stuff. We just talk about wrestling. Damn it.
And it's still real to me.
But I think that not only from what I can guarantee or can see online, not only is she a bad locker room person, but she's a bad, like, not a bad wrestler. I don't want to say that, but she's
not experienced.
yeah, and especially in the way the WWE did things. I didn't watch a lot of her in AEW, but like when you have someone like Cody Rhodes' wife call you a bitch on live TV, like
It, and then you get that same sentiment with Chelsea Green in a video that resurfaced online this week, and you see that she's got problems with Rhea. She's got problems with everybody, it seems, in the locker room. And in AEW, if you missed out, she was a Goldberg. Squash matches.
oh yeah, hell
And
yeah.
to be a Goldberg in AEW, that's hard to do because they normally don't put big people over, and they don't do those squash match type of things. They do 5-star matches. She
Eh,
wasn't doing it.
Hey, sometimes you need a Bill Goldberg so someone like Gunther can retire him.
Yeah, but Jade Cargill's in her prime, but really she's just so. And this isn't a knock on her. She could end up being great. She could, but she's athletic. She's not there yet, and I think Rhea could make her look good. But can she make her look good for 30 minutes when Jade is completely gassed out and Jade is
Well, that's like watching the last couple Undertaker WrestleMania matches,
yeah
right? Like, yeah, when we were growing up, you had Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker, you had
Batista?
Batista and the Undertaker. almost every Friday Night SmackDown, you piss off Teddy Long. You're going one on one with the Undertaker.
Yeah, and it seemed like every Friday Night SmackDown for a while it was Batista versus the
Yeah,
Undertaker.
but like when he got a little older and he was facing people like Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, like
He looked not so
yeah,
good.
and I'd hate and even like talk about the goat for a second, John Cena. Like, yeah, he put on a couple 30-minute matches in his retirement tour, but they were slower paced 30-minute matches, and you have to attune your style to that. Like CM Punk doesn't wrestle the way that CM Punk wrestled in 2013,
Yeah, he's not running
but
around
he's
there.
still running a 30-minute match on a Monday Night Raw,
Yeah,
and it looks good because he changed his pace to that. But when you have to run a 30-minute match and you're at peak health and peak like physicality with someone who runs 30-minute matches, 15-minute matches often, you're gonna get laps ran around you.
yeah,
Eh,
and especially when you rely on your athleticism and your physicality and explosiveness for those big holy shit moments that Jade Cargill does, and then you run out of steam so quick and you can't do those, or when you do them, they look so flat, and when Rhea oversells it because it's going to look like an oversell, it doesn't hit the same and it looks like a botch. And
Yeah, yeah, and then that's when you get a lot of the laying down, holding up against the ring apron, or both of them hit a head kick and a super or a headbutt and a super kick at the same time, and they're both knocked out for
two
feels like 2 minutes,
minutes,
but it's
yeah.
30 seconds. Like that's when you have those matches, and it feels like yeah, you want to get the crowd involved, but you can only do that so much in a short period of time. Like
One of my big knocks on Shawn Michaels towards the end of his career was it seemed like every big match had one of those one, two, three of those 30-second. I just hit the sweet chin music, and I'm completely out of gas. I gotta lay down, and then I'll get up.
yeah, I mean even like watching Ric Flair's last matches and stuff, like yeah, it's cool to see, but how many weeks in a row? How many, granted that's over a long period of time, but we have 6 weeks to build up. If you're not interacting with your opponent at WrestleMania by now, you better figure it out, in the next month or so.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to see like a tag match with involving Rhea and Jade, something that gives us just a little bit of a
That
preview.
they really hate each other, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like give us something, and it just seems like WWE from the Unreal clips I've seen. I try not to watch the show, but you see clips from the clips I've seen. They seem like they're trying to walk back these things that might offend other wrestlers. You saw how they handled the Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair thing with the rings, and Triple H was like, "You got to apologize,"
Yeah.
and let me slap
Y-
your wrist. And
Yeah, and I like to me it feels like she's someone that doesn't show up to work.
yeah, that's what
Um
it feels like.
like they get vignettes of her, but then she leaves to go, and she is I mean, she owns a softball team and she's involved in public and stuff, but like this is your job, you know what I mean? Like
And you can't tell me he can't do it. Look at Logan Paul.
yeah.
I mean,
Um
he's got a million more things
s-
going on
s-
than
Speaking of Tiffany Stratton,
her.
how come every big match, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, the Chamber, she just gets the living hell beat out of her? Chipped tooth, bloody nose, black eye. Like I'm sure I'm missing another one or two, but
Yeah,
she just looks like she goes through. Like I don't know if it's her opponent's like botching moves or if she's just fragile. But like I'm like, damn, like that sucks.
maybe she's just so athletic and she kind of moves into the moves a little bit too much, but she's a good wrestler.
Yeah,
And I mean, when she gets beat up against Jade Cargill, everybody gets beat up against Jade Cargill. It looks like I'll give her this. Her moves look super real when they hit
yeah,
because I think that they are.
yeah, and it's not the unpretty her. What's her signature move where she has them like in a power bomb, but
Choke slam power bomb
y-
type thing.
yeah, like
I forget what it's called, but
but that looks tough. Like
it looks tough. But she doesn't do anything to protect her opponents on the way down.
yeah, and same thing. Like her big boots look matte. Like that reminds me of like a Kane big boot. And she's a talented wrestler, but I don't know. She's not. She she's running this title reign like it's
like she's Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
she hasn't done anything
yeah.
to get
To quantify that.
Yeah.
And Roman Reigns. I mean, I don't like the way that how Roman's schedule is, but I get it,
Yeah.
right? He had the company on his back when it was in its darkest, and like he,
He was coming
but,
back
yeah,
off of cancer and all that. I mean, and also he had cleared it out. He held the title for 1,400
yeah,
days. He wrestled everybody there was to wrestle. They had to. They couldn't just put
yeah,
him on
and
Raw
that's just where
SmackDown.
the storyline was. But with this, when you have so many talented women like that, like how are you not? And we say if you don't defend your title every 30 days, it should be vacated.
Yeah, absolutely. Or if you're gonna have a big long break, like a 60-day break between Chamber and Mania, you better do what Punk did and defend on Raw
Yeah,
on a random
yeah,
Monday, or you better. You
and
better
and and
yeah.
speaking of, we were talking about the 30-day reign and Raw or titles changing on random Mondays and Tuesday and stuff.
Oh, I thought you'd never ask.
Grande Americano, the great
Oh,
one, he cheated out our boy, and
what Ryo?
yeah, well,
Ryo is not our.
hey, that's a part of the real, not the real Grande Americano, but the true Grande Americano. He he cheated out on our boy.
This is a great day to go through and do a little body physique study after this episode. So Grande Americano goes out, destroys
Also,
Ryo.
the all black fit,
Yeah,
and that went kind of tough, didn't it?
it looked tough. Didn't look like El Grande Americano.
I
And
think I think we need to drug test you.
um, and listen, steroids.
This is supposed to be a beer podcast, Matt, not a juicing podcast.
Well, I'm still catching up on wrestling. I'm in the '90s right now.
I'm still in the territory days, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
I'm still figuring.
It was a good match. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
excited to see
How that continues
Yeah,
to build.
yeah.
I liked it. El Grande did his finisher, which is very similar to Chad Gable's finisher.
And he also sounded real American after he won.
Well, I'll tell you this: he got in those guys' face, said, "I'll take any of you on." Did it, and then beats them after they got dirty. After he got a headbutt from the fake
It was
El
good,
Grande.
it was good, clean wrestling.
He got a headbutt from the fake El Grande, and then Ryo hits him with a headbutt. And what's the other guy's name? Bravo, whatever.
Bravo. It's supposed to be Rio and Bravo, like the rivers in Mexico.
Yeah.
But I think it was Wade Barrett called him Rio or Rio instead of Rio. No, it was Joe Tess. He called him Rio instead of Rio. So like they had to pivot on that. Also, did you see when they doing the Elimination Chamber? They called him Javon Williams. That's not funny because that's not his name. But like, come on, guys, we're professionals. Like we're being professional.
Yeah, this isn't AEW Tony Schiavone saying, "Come on, bitch, get it out."
In this corner, we got Javon Williams. So
Yeah, but it was a cool match, and it's building to a 10-minute WrestleMania moment. It's not going to be the Hell in the Cell I want, but it should be.
mask versus mask.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, and somehow Rey Mysterio's in there and beats both of them, so they both have to take their masks off. Or Rey Phoenix.
You know what's weird is, do you remember El Grande Americano's first foe that he had when he first showed up?
Penta, I believe.
Yeah, and now original El Grande and Penta are like good buddies.
Allegedly. And just like in AAA, Grande Americano, the real one, mine, shook hands with Rey Mysterio in front of Dominic Mysterio. But we had some more unexpected things happen at a Elimination Chamber. Former AEW star Danhausen.
Oh, he made his comeback.
He made his Monday Night WrestleMania's debuts.
And I think that the fandom in Chicago kind of showed that WWE fans do not watch AEW.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I'm familiar with Danhausen because he is an indie god. And also he's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Pepsi Phil. And like the would this wrestler beat this wrestler? He's if you have TikTok, look up Danhausen like funny moments, and it's on there. He gave Michael Cole a jar of teeth,
Yeah.
and then he told Wade Barrett to he said up yours to Wade Barrett. Um, and I thought it was, I mean, not what I wanted. I wanted to bring back like an old stipulation or something, but I do think that it was cool. I really out of touch. Like the internet wrestling people know who Danhausen is. Like you know who Danhausen is because you've watched AEW, but I'm excited for a because you can do a lot of things with a character like that. You can do a lot of things. You know, he's on the level of like our truth
He
and
doesn't have to wrestle.
yeah, which I love his wrestling and people were saying that he looked small and the dancers were bigger than like
He
yeah.
is
Not
small.
everybody's like Obafemi. Like
Yeah.
you
Look at Rey Mysterio. Look at Dominic Mysterio. Both of them are pretty small guys, and they get over just fine.
yeah. I mean, bringing it back to Monday when he brought Adam Pierce and he said Stone Cold Steve Cold Austin or something.
Yeah.
Oh, Adam Pierce, yeah, the glasses. It's a costume.
Yeah.
And then he gave him his list of Demandhausens.
Yeah.
A blimp. I want a blimp. I want an induction to the Hall of Fame this year.
And then he goes out Judgment Day, stupidly walks up on him,
Yeah,
yeah. Curses Dom.
and he said, "Hey, nice to meet you, Finn Balor. Nice to meet you, Dominic. Or nice to meet you, Dom." And forgot JD McDonough's name. And Dom says, "It's not very nice to meet you." And Danhausen, very nice boy, very evil, but very nice boy.
Very nice, very evil.
He said, "You are cursed." And Dominic Mysterio went out there, and the curse got him. I think they should rematch for the championship for the IC title.
You
Him and
know,
Penta.
yeah, I don't think he deserves a rematch. He's in that Jade Cargill situation. I love Dom. Don't get me wrong, but if I'm a man of values.
He's
and
been
principle.
hurt. Leave Dom out of this. He's the only wrestler that deserves not to defend every 30 days because he's been hurt. He's been dealing with injury, and he's been supporting his team.
Well, the team. Let's talk about that team.
Yeah. I said it. My bold prediction for the WrestleMania was, or for the WrestleManias
For Chamber.
for the Chamber was that Dominic Mysterio and JD were going to come out there and screw over Finn. Finn and JD screwed over Dom.
Yeah.
I think the writing's on the wall for at least Dom to get out of the Judgment Day.
Yeah, they're done with Dom.
I will say the Elimination Chamber match between CM Punk and Finn Balor was awesome.
Yeah.
It was they put on 3 spectacular shows on Monday Night Raw. 3
weeks ago.
In
Dublin.
Royal Rumble, Monday Night Raw, and Elimination Chamber.
So
Did
they wrestled in Dublin right after Rumble. They wrestled at
before the Rumble for the championship.
Yeah, before the Rumble for the championship,
and then an Elimination Chamber.
And then an Elimination Chamber. Yeah.
I absolute bangers of matches. It sucks that we didn't get to see Demon Finn Balor, but I think it's coming. I think
I don't know what they're doing with that.
I mean, I don't know.
If they weren't gonna bring it out here, when are you gonna make
Mania?
Maybe, but then it just seems like they've dug themselves in a hole because he's sticking with JD, and it's like.
But is he? Because I think JD's gonna be like, "Hey man, that's kind of messed up." You know what I mean?
Maybe, but maybe this is gonna be the fractures that we see. But I just feel like WWE's worried about letting JD fall through the cracks, and he definitely would.
Well, now that AJ Styles is gone, you can pair him up with someone like Dragon Lee.
You could,
and I think that would be a good tag team.
And he could have a feud with Dom. He could have a feud with Finn if they want to lower Finn to that. He could have a feud with Danhausen, which I think would be a fun feud.
It would be, yeah.
That would be
well, because R-Truth and JD McDonough had matches.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a Truthhausen. That would be
electric.
That would be electric.
But that would be a little bit too goofy. You got to have a serious guy to be frustrated at the other one being so ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What's going on with the tag titles, dude? On both shows, and the women's tag title. Like, what?
So I don't know where Rio's going because they're splitting them up.
Well, they lost the tag titles
Uh,
to
yeah,
Lash Legend and Nia Jax.
you're right, they did. Yeah, I don't like that either. I don't
Yeah,
like Nia Jax having a tag title because then you're gonna have to make Lash Legend look weak because Nia Jax can't take a bump.
yeah. I don't know that the women's. We'll discard the women's tag title. I don't think it's a good idea to have the women's tag titles anymore.
Yeah,
Especially when you introduce the women's mid card titles. I don't think the
you got too much going on,
Yeah,
and
and especially because they're across all three brands. Um,
well, and it's not good either when you introduce these mid card titles and the tag titles that you have and everything. But it's still the women that are in the picture all the time for the main card title, like Becky
yeah.
Lynch, Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley. United States belt doesn't count, but
What'd you just call it?
you heard me. The
They're
uni-
not. They're not.
I know they're not, but the United States belt is a belt.
All right, that's the only one. I'll give you that one. I'll give
The
you that one.
United States belt is a belt. The rest are titles, but that United
That's a
States
belt. That's
that's a
holding up. That's I don't need Selena Vega. I think's holding it right now, or Julia.
Julia had it last I checked, but I can't keep up with it because it's kind of like the speed title.
Yeah, it's not on X anymore, so I don't know where it's at.
Yeah, who gives a shit, you know?
Um, I
But
know, but I think like Sol Ruka and you know people like that, Selena Vega and Julia. Yeah, that's fine for now. Chelsea Green, holds down the mid card very well, but I think she's a main eventer. Um, the Intercontinental Women's title. I think Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile. I think that group over there is good.
I think that they have a lot of people that could challenge for that. But having AJ Lee and Becky Lynch,
AJ Lee, I kind of understand because of the long breaks that she took, and I don't think she's up to main title like women's world champion
I don't
as
think
of right
she's
now.
up to TV right now. I think that the promos she cut the past 2 Mondays have been some of the worst promos that I've seen in WWE in years. Since Roman Reigns was trying to get over and
Succotash.
yeah, since they couldn't even
Yeah,
they couldn't get Roman
they were trying to force Roman down our throats instead
yeah,
of happening organically.
yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
AJ Lee's promos were cringy and not in a good
Also,
way.
this is her first singles match in a long time,
Yeah.
right? Did you when she put her? That's the Widowmaker. Is that the Widowmaker?
I think that's the name of it.
But at the end, Becky Lynch tapped, right? And then she tapped really, really hard
Yeah.
after the match was over. Like, does that come down to inexperience, or does that come down to
Ring rust.
like what's it come down? Like, you think that she just got overhyped in the moment, or like, what do you think it comes down to on that?
I think it could be a little bit of overhyped in the moment. I think there might be a little bit of real life beef between the two. And I think it's ring rust. But really, I think that AJ Lee had a decent match for being off from singles matches as long as she had. But the promo being shitty, and then I said it last week, but you're taking opportunities away from people that should be competing for mid card titles.
Yeah, like Lyra Valkyria
like
and
Soruka,
and,
like
and Becky like
like
and
Maxine
Becky Lynch
Dupree.
is doing the right thing of she's on her way out of wrestling entirely.
Yeah.
And so she's taking that mid card spot, so she's not taking a main event spot from someone else. But then to throw in the legend in there like Nikki Bella and AJ Lee, like
and then you have Natty, and then
yeah, Maxine Dupree, like you have all these characters, and I think that Becky Lynch is a good bridge for all of those, especially with the character that she's playing.
but not with the Intercontinental. You don't need the Intercontinental title for that. You can just have some beef if you want to do that. Because
Yeah, to
you
get
don't
him more ring time, or
need- the Intercontinental title was always it was the workhorse title. Same with the United States Championship, and it was also the title that kind of like what NXT represents now, but the title that the young guy that had a shot of moving up the card.
Yeah,
for a year
and
or
like
two.
and he'll have the one off, or they'll have the one off main event,
Yeah.
or not main event, but like match at a PLE.
Yeah.
But now with 4 matches on a PLE, 4 matches anywhere,
and you're giving one of those matches to a title match with AJ Lee and Becky Lynch, two legends that don't need it, and both are. I don't know if AJ's on her way out. She should be with how she's been performing, but we know Becky's on her way out. All you're doing is keeping opportunities back from these other people that could be coming up. how electric would it be to see Maxine Dupree struggle her way through an Intercontinental title match, still figuring out the wrestling ropes, or to see Sol Ruka go out there and be able to display what she can do in an Intercontinental title match?
Yeah, and I think we saw a lot of that when Maxine held the IC title. Still figuring out the whole
Wrestling.
good guy, bad guy thing. Like, because she did roll ups, but then she's like, "Oh, that's not what a good guy. That's not what a face wrestler does." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But she still did them because she's learning the ropes of wrestling,
Yeah.
right? I think that storyline with Becky, like, hey, I bested. You're the best in the world, and I'm a brand new rookie, and I beat you. But then you throw her back, you make her drop it to Becky again,
Yeah.
right? Why don't you throw Ivy Nile in there, or um,
Jordan Grace would. I know she's on SmackDown,
yeah,
but like, do something with Jordan Grace. You
yeah.
can't just let her sit in
She's
position
getting
where-
the exact opposite of Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
But Jordan Grace is an absolute dog.
But Jordan Grace has nothing to do on SmackDown because it's either the United States Championship, and for her to go after that, she's gonna have to take a severe step back because she's so far above where that title's at right now. She could elevate it if she
Yeah.
took it, but the women she'd be wrestling,
I think her going to NXT was start of the downfall for Jordan Grace.
yeah,
I think that's someone you just like Matt Cardona, just like Danhausen, just like you put them in the main roster because they've already proved themselves as the top dog of another company. Especially when TNA was doing their stuff with NXT, she proved that she was the top dog
She-
of that company.
yeah, and she looked better than any of the NXT women at that time.
Yeah.
And
I mean, she when she was at the top of her TNA reign, I would say that her and Rhea Ripley were the two best women wrestlers in the world. Now it's like I love what Jordan Grace is doing, love what she was doing down in NXT, but I think that was a downfall for her.
yeah,
Like that was a step back for her. That's like
she, she was a woman that needed to be elevated to the main roster immediately because she could have competed with the best of the
Yeah.
best. Whereas Jade Cargill, even though she was kind of the top dog at AEW, kind of not because it was squash matches, she would have really benefited from a year or two
and
in
NXT.
She
Yeah.
needed that. She needed more activity. You see it in UFC is the same example. We have these great athletes that come in and they'll run over a couple people. And
Like
they,
Death Note.
not UFC, but and also not great. But Bo Nickel, 4-time or 3-time NCAA wrestling
Yeah.
champion, runs through a couple cans, has to take on somebody good. They finish him because he doesn't have enough time in the cage. He hasn't fought enough. He's just not. Same thing with Jade Cargill. She hasn't spent enough time in the ring. She just is too green. She needed that NXT push.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't disagree with you. I think the situations that they were put in were completely flip flopped. And I hope they can turn around, and I hope they realize that. And I just like how Mania, once you finish Mania, you can reset.
Yeah.
You can reset. You have new champions, old champions. You can reset. You can drop storylines if you want to.
Yeah.
Like
Well-
Mania, and especially with Backlash being so close to Mania, like you can end those hangnail, rivalries or grudges or whatever there if you need to.
But a lot of the times anymore, we see Backlash being kind of a hangover from Mania, where they're like, let's clean up anything that didn't go the way.
Yeah,
And
but I mean, you can take that as an opportunity to end your ongoing rivalries or your ongoing, heated confrontations or anything, and that's a perfect time to in between Mania and Backlash. You have 4 weeks there, 3 or 4 weeks there. Do the draft then. Shake up your talent.
yeah, that's a great time to do it.
Because I mean, if I'm a wrestler and I go out to WrestleMania and I'm wrestling for the Intercontinental Championship and I get dog walked on the grandest stage of them all, and I still have to go out on Monday Night Raw and wrestle the same people that couldn't compete at the grandest stage of them all, I'd want to go to SmackDown.
Yeah, because you just got embarrassed by these people, and now you have to go back facing them.
Oh,
She's friendly. She'll just hug you. But yeah, I want to go back to what we were talking about with Jade Cargill and Jordan Grace for a second because it is just really bizarre that they made the choice to put Jordan Grace on NXT and Jade not because NXT is developmental talent.
Do you think that might have been a part of Jade's contract that she gets main roster privileges off the rip?
It must have been because one of the biggest some of the biggest noise about Jade signing with WWE is how green she is, and
Yeah.
and how she's not going to quite be up to main event status yet. And sure enough, she comes in. She's champion within a year. I think it's less than a year.
Yeah, and well, she did the tag stuff
And
with
she did
Bianca.
yeah, and that was what she needed. I thought at the time. I was like, oh, they're doing.
Yeah, and that was a good move for her. But then,
Bianca gets her, and
yeah, and I mean, she's been out for a while too.
yeah,
Where do you put in? Where do you put her in back when? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I know because she's friends with Jade. Is she? Are they going to go back to the tag titles? I don't see Jade wanting to do that, especially with how difficult she seems to be to work with anymore.
Yeah,
And yeah, I don't know. It makes it maybe Bianca goes over to Raw and kind of reinvents herself. I know she's always been done her best work on SmackDown, but I think that she could mesh well with the Raw talent. That you know,
yeah,
she'll be one of the bigger ladies, whereas on SmackDown she's really not.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I see what you're saying. Not one of those powerhouse ladies
yeah,
that.
because she's an athlete, but against small girls she looks huge. Against big girls she looks small,
Yeah,
and she's on SmackDown. There's a lot of larger talent, like just
big beautiful women.
you can say it that way. Yeah, athletes first to come to mind: Nia Jax, Piper. Um,
Lash Legend,
no, she's not a wrestler. Yeah, Nia Jax
Valkyrie.
though. I don't know. Nia Jax, the gloat.
My holes.
The gloat.
The glow. Yeah, no, and then same thing with Naomi. Like, where when she comes back, where do you put her? Because she dropped the title because of pregnancy. Does she automatically get a title rematch when she comes back, or are rematch clauses just inept at this point?
Yeah, I don't know. There's no consistency in the WWE at this
And
point.
I think we just need a big like, hey, these are the rules, and this is what we live by. Like a unwritten rule, like on baseball,
we
you
need
don't.
Pierce to come out and be like, "This is how it's going to be on Raw. You have to defend every 32 days or something."
Yeah, like
If you,
in baseball, you don't hit a home run when you're up by 11 runs.
yeah, you come out, you say, "This is how it is. You defend every 30 days. You this, and this is how it's going to be. If you have to vacate the title due to injury, then you get a rematch clause, or you do not get a rematch clause when you come back. But it can't be, well, this person's coming back. Oh, their first match is going to be for a title. This person's coming back, and they're in a random feud with insert whoever here, Sami Zayn, for some
Yeah,
reason.
unless it's like that person injured them or
Yeah,
cost them the title or something like that. Like then I can
like
see
the
like
Seth Rollins.
your grudge is Seth Rollins was the mask man.
He was the masked man. Let's get into that. He stomps Paul Heyman. Sicko move. Sicko move. I mean,
I fucking hate Paul Heyman, that fat round rat snake bastard.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that and think you're talking about someone else because Paul Heyman is a saint.
Yeah, the
The
saying of being a dickhead.
the vision seems like it's completely unraveled at this point.
Yeah, I think the injury bug caught I like that's a we talked about it last week. That's a I think it's over with. Like
Yeah.
I think this is the final nail in the coffin. Like, and then who was driving the ambulance?
L.A. Knight.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. L.A. Knight drives the ambulance off.
Jimmy Uso giving him a dap up.
Yeah,
Like
and
they
then
didn't have beef for the last 5 years or something like that.
and then Jimmy and Jay go and beat up on Austin Theory and
What was your favorite part about that?
no yeet.
No yeet.
No yeet party at least. We heard the just me use, but it was just real subtle.
It was
in
just
the
me use, and then you hear a chair shot.
yeah, and
Yeah,
it was nice crutch shot.
crutches. Oh yeah, it came out. Also, what? Why did he have crutches?
He got beat up last week or on SmackDown, so he was faking an injury because that's the new thing. Seth Rollins fakes injuries. Jimmy Uso or Jey Uso fakes injuries.
Yeah, but if he faked an injury to get to not be in the chamber, and he's back on Monday, like what?
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that. Yeah,
Like sell the injury a little more.
yeah, man. Yeah, he just gets
You-
up there and swings
Like
he's
you
hitting
you
a
weren't
home run.
good from Friday to Saturday, but on Monday you were running around and hitting people with crutches.
Jey Uso as not over as the yeeting is, you gotta feel bad for him in a way that he won Rumble and then didn't get to main event Mania, which is wild.
Yeah.
And then he wins a shot at Chamber and doesn't get to be in the Chamber. Comes back the very next Monday.
Yeah. I mean, do you think it's because he has 40 DUIs?
It could be.
You think that's the reason? Do you think it's because he can't wrestle in Canada because he has so many DUIs?
It could be. It could be that he just can't wrestle at all because he kind of sucks.
Yeah, because
now.
he had that one good promo with Cody Rhodes after they won the tag titles,
Yeah,
and he said, "Yeet." They got hammered because they didn't know they were doing a press conference.
that was one of the most insane things ever because it was only 2 months after a DUI,
Yeah,
and it was like,
we had a couple liquid libations
yeah,
in the tour bus.
maybe you guys shouldn't be putting Jey Uso on TV
Yeah.
drunk after a DUI.
Yeah, like what? You remember when people used to have to get their titles stripped and got sent away
Yeah,
because they were getting DUIs or popping off?
hamstring injury.
Yeah, they were suspended for 90 days.
Yeah,
You remember when Chris Benoit killed his wife and family?
allegedly.
You remember that?
Yes, I do. I remember watching.
That we're gonna have to cut that. I think we're gonna have to cut that.
We're
part.
gonna leave it in. We're gonna leave it in. Roll the tape. We're gonna clip it out even.
Yeah, you remember you laughing at that is crazy. But like when people used to pop hot with PEDs and like even just regular drugs, like RVD got suspended a lot. He had to vacate the WWE Championship because he smoked weed.
Yeah.
Like it is. I hate to say, is WWE going soft, Matt?
I think they're getting a little soft.
Are you allowed to drink and drive and be in the WWE, but you can't smoke a little weed?
Yeah, and apparently if you're Andrade, you can't take steroids either.
I think that's because he refused to take the test. I think that's why he got released.
He was probably frustrated. He's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?
I have to be here with my ex-wife.
Yeah,
She's such a bitch.
And he's like, "You got the fucking Usos drunk as shit driving home from every match.
It's just me, Oos.
You know how terrifying the parking garage is."
I'd hate to be a parked car in that parking garage.
It's funny that they didn't have Jimmy or Jay drive off in the ambulance.
Well, it's because they don't have driver's license.
But it does seem, with the Vision ending, it does seem a little unfitting for Jay and Jimmy to be the ones that have the if this is the final match with the Vision member, to not let LA Knight do it. I know they jumped Jay and everything, but
Yeah.
LA Knight's had such a long story with him, and then his farewell to the Vision is driving away in an ambulance and saying, "I'll take care of you."
Unless him and Paul Heyman hash things out in the back of the bus, the back of the Boo Boo bus, and
that's his
LA
move.
Knight becomes a Paul Heyman guy.
That would be awesome because then LA Knight would finally get over.
Yeah, and he would finally he'd finally get some gold.
Yeah, but WWE has this aversion to LA Knight.
Is it because the same thing that happened with Zack Ryder's because he got over organically?
I think so. They hate when guys get over on their own. They're like, "What are we supposed to do with this guy that has the whole stadium chanting without even doing anything? What are we supposed to do with this guy?"
Let's push one of the 7 guys we've been pushing for the last 5 years.
It's been 5 years since he had a mid-card title. All right, give him a United States Championship run for a week. Like,
Oh, Jay and Jimmy Uso aren't doing anything. Let's put them in the main event at WrestleMania fighting each other. Let's have them open up WrestleMania fighting each other, and then they join forces to beat up all of Cody Rhodes' goons on the same night.
Oh god, it just doesn't make any. The WWE creative, gonna go on another rant, but it's and I haven't done my MMA show in 2 weeks just because I've been a little burnt out. It's because TKO has sucked the life out of everything I love, and they're getting involved in boxing too, and their boxing shows have been good so far, but it's the last step in the combat sport universe that they need to completely take it over.
The Holy Trinity.
The Holy Trinity, and they're sucking the life out of MMA. There's. I was watching an old UFC the other day when they had the Gladiator promos coming in.
Yeah, on Spike.
There was a music video for every single card where
Yeah.
it introduced you to the fighters and their knockouts or submission, all that stuff. Just a lot of effort, a lot of fun. They don't do that kind of shit anymore. That shit was fun as hell. WWE also does not have fun anymore.
And I was on TikToks earlier today, not while I was driving. But this lady was like, I paid $400 to do this, and like I think it's Texas or California. They have like the Prism,
Yeah.
where you can get like premium. You can go there and watch it with your people, and it was $400, and she they were like 6 rows back, and all they saw were people's heads in a ring post. Like, why are we doing these fan experiences if it's not a fun experience for the fans?
Well, and they obviously don't care about the fans because say what you will about Vince McMahon, he had family friendly pricing because he wanted it to be a family show. He didn't block out or viewership in certain markets because it's going to stop people from going to the show because they can't sell tickets at their crazy rates, which they did that. They blocked out shows for Elimination Chamber in Chicago at bars and everything, so people had to buy tickets. It's just it's despicable. I mean, you're giving such little effort in the creative, in the production, and all of it, and then you're asking for more and more money from the fans. We're going to split the product up more, make you pay for cable, ESPN, for everything.
Netflix.
Yeah,
I mean,
Netflix.
thankfully, luckily, if you're out of the United States of America, you can just get Netflix and you can get all of it.
Yeah,
But like, what? Like, it's gotta be a crime to do that. Like, we talk about it more often than we should. Well, actually, I think we should need to talk about it more. But it's ridiculous, dude. I should not have to pay a mortgage payment to go and watch a WWE live event, not a premium live event, or you know, a WrestleMania, or even a go home show.
yeah,
Just a regular Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown or even an NXT event. Why am I spending $478 for a ticket?
yeah. I was gonna say one ticket in the lower bowl is 400 to 500 bucks.
And like, and I'll say, I'm privileged enough to be able to afford that and to do that. But like, imagine you want to take your 3 kids and all you can afford is nosebleeds, and yeah, they're gonna have a time of your life, but you're like, damn, like
I just spent $700.
I just spent $700, and I'm not even the cool dad that you
Got
know
'em.
that got him close to the ring so they can see the sweat pouring off of Roman Reigns or
Yeah,
anything like that. Like, I've been in arenas that I feel the pyrotechnics how close I am, and I'm like, that's badass. Like, 12-year-old me right now is having the time of his life, but at the same time, I'm like, I couldn't imagine having one child that enjoys wrestling, and I have to pay for this, and then that's their Christmas present or their, I would feel like a shitty parent if that was me. Like, oh, we can go and sit in the upper bowl for $300, both of us together, but we're not going to see shit.
yeah,
Or hey, we can go spend $1,000 and sit in the lower bowl, but you're not going to get a birthday present this year.
yeah. This is a yeah. No, I was looking back at my Snapchat memories 4 years ago, back when Austin Theory was still doing his
The selfies,
selfie.
yeah, when he was a Vince McMahon guy.
We got tickets in the upper part of the lower bowl. Me, my wife, and her brother and his wife, and we paid $62 a ticket at that time for a Monday night show on the road to WrestleMania. $62 for a ticket. That was when they're in their sellout stage and everything.
Yeah,
And now $62 doesn't get you a
I
nosebleed.
mean, parking.
Parking's $25 minimum.
Yeah, where I live, like, it, unless you're parking in the free parking garages, um, and the only reason they're free is because that's a city thing. To park in a parking lot, $45 for an event.
Yeah,
Like, there's no reason why I should be able to buy tickets to a festival, a full weekend festival that's all inclusive, that I can get as many drinks as I want for cheaper than I can go to a WWE event.
yeah, and like you said, the WWE nobody nobody that works is in a realistic position to go to every show or to go to every show in their area anymore if they come 4 or 5 times a year. Because
Yeah,
I mean, it's outrageous. And then if you want to set aside money for a PLE, also, I mean, you're going to be spending an arm and a leg for 4 matches.
or like even the like merchandise is
Merchandise is
ridiculous,
ridiculous. The
and
cheap,
it's not the highest quality of merchandise.
yeah, it
Like,
shrinks.
it fades. The letter. I mean, the letters are like peeling off of, you know, but like,
You're spending $50.
$50 for a shirt. Imagine if a replica title belt, which they're badass, it's
Yeah.
like $600, a grand maybe.
Yeah, and
Like,
and then they don't sell the toy belts anymore. If they do, it's like the wristwatch ones.
yeah, which I have a couple of those. They're
Yeah,
pretty cool.
They're cool, but
Um,
they don't sell the toy ones
e-
that would be $20 or $30 anymore.
Even like, I remember like getting action figures, like wrestling action figures growing up. $20 for an action figure. Now I go to Walmart now because I have a like pretty expensive collection. $30 for a fucking
$30.
action
I
figure.
know. I was gonna buy some for the wall back here, and I was like, they're probably gonna be $15. I'll get 2 or 3 of them, and then I saw it, and I was like, well, I'm not spending $30 for a fucking box.
$30
And what am I paying for? Extra heads?
yeah, and hands, and
Yeah.
sometimes you can build a figure.
Yeah, like, and if I want to keep it in the box, that just looks dumb with all this extra
Yeah,
shit. Next
yeah.
to it.
Like, and granted, the main event line, I think it's the main event line. That it's just the action figure. They're $20, so like no big deal. But they're not cool.
Yeah.
They're not cool. The ones that come in like the superstar, like
the big box.
the big box, those are the cool ones, and those are the ones that come with the stupid hands and stuff. Like I for my birthday, I got a Cody Rhodes Survivor Series edition,
Yeah.
Elite Series, and it's the one with he's has his face painted and he has wearing the camo trunks. I'm like, that's cool, that's badass. You didn't have to buy that for me, my
Yeah.
wife, but like that's badass and like that's wicked. I had to move one of my 17 John Cena action figures around to hang it up,
One
but
for every title.
well, I have two different Invisible John, like where he's
Oh, not in the box.
no, no, yeah. One's like all clear, so his shirt and everything's clear, and then I have one where just his body's clear, so he's wearing like the red shirt, the hat, and the jorts. I'm like, that's badass.
Yeah,
But I had to move them around. Like my Stone Cold Steve Austin figure that I have, it came with a cooler and beer cans.
Yeah.
That's badass. My Dominic Mysterio, it's one of the elite ones. It doesn't have anything with it. $20. I was fine with picking up that figure.
I remember when we were kids, it was $9 for the ones that only bent straight.
Yep,
And then it was 15
for the
ones.
one with the articulations and the
Yeah.
triple joints.
And
then
you could have a huge collection though, and like
we used to have tubs full of
Yeah,
and two separate like a ring. I was looking at getting like a ring so I could do like poses and stuff with them. And I'm such a nerd, but rings are like $100 now,
yeah,
and they're not even like
they're not the same that
Yeah.
they used to have breakaway rings. They used
Yeah.
to have like it was $30 for the steel cage.
yeah. Now I just looked and it was $89 for a green steel cage and a ring.
And that's just ridiculous.
Like I remember we had like me and the my stepbrothers, we had the Elimination Chamber, we had the Hell in the Cell, and they just went around the ring. We had different ladders, we had different tables, we had special referee outfits for the
yeah,
you get 20 of those things and it's, a Christmas present, all your Christmas presents, but you weren't spending $7 grand for 20 action figures.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, I can get you 2 or 3 action figures this year. It's like I can get you 10, or I can
Yeah,
get
and not to mention you can get so many. You used to be able to get so many different wrestlers.
yeah. Now it's just the top guy.
Yeah, I can't get a Tozawa action figure or
I used to have a Boogeyman action figure.
Yeah,
I used to have I had Umaga.
I had a Matt Hardy. He was wearing
Matt Hardy.
He was wearing blue camo pants.
Yeah, I had Matt Hardy. I had Jeff Hardy.
I had Edge, Batista. I had multiple
I
different
had
Batista. Yeah.
Finley and
Yeah, I had play with my charger that's on the thing. I had get in the basket, buddy. I had Hornswoggle, a little Hornswoggle
Oh
figure.
yeah,
But now it's like you can only get the people that you're seeing on TV. Like,
and it's only the main eventers. It's not
yeah,
even.
I can't get a Jordan Grace or Julia
You can't get
or
a Kit Wilson at
yeah,
Walmart. Like
or an Obafemi, like a Great Khali. Like,
yeah, it used to be like you walk in that aisle, and it might be the wholesalers buying shit up, but I don't think wholesalers are worried about.
hey, don't chew on that. Don't chew on that, kitty.
I don't think wholesalers are worried as much about action figures because I don't think the market's going up on these things that they're just mass producing.
Well, that and like you mentioned like the little wristlet,
What?
like
Yeah.
slap-on bracelet titles at the Walmart that I go to in South Carolina. They don't have those. They don't. The Target doesn't have it. They're just not. But I come up here and I went to Walmart last time I was home, and they had them, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be cool. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna open these and like I'm gonna get and put them in my little cubby in my car. And I went back to my house and I was like, oh, I want to see if they have any of those at Walmart. Just a random Walmart trip. No, no. So it's only certain stuff's going to certain WalMarts and like I, dude. Oh,
TKO is just frustrating with everything.
yeah,
Everything's so expensive, it's hard to find, and then the product that they're giving us is shit. The new toys that they're selling for $30, if you're gonna sell a kid's toy, it's not $30 for an action figure. And that's what it is with all these extra parts that they're given. It's meant to be played with. Like these are they don't have
yeah,
they don't have things that look great in a collection anymore. They're not things that you can hang on a wall because they've got an awkward back shape. And it's almost done on purpose, I think, so that when they do this other stuff, they can charge you more. And everything just seems like it's a cash grab. We'll give you a shittier product each week and ask you for another dollar.
yeah. And I don't want to be the person that says like, oh, we should boycott,
Yeah.
because like I like spending money. I like having nice things. I like buying things for the things I'm interested in. But like, it comes to a point where I'm like, all right, that's enough. Like, that's too much.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, if you were to boycott, what sucks is if you go to watch an AEW product, it is completely different than the WWE
Yeah,
product. It's not the same wrestling that you're going to be used to, and you're not going to really enjoy it the same. And I like AEW. I like what they do, but WWE is the only game in town that's sports entertainment. That
and that's and like, and it's sports entertainment, not AEW's more on the sports side, I think.
yeah,
And you have shows like NWA or
WO,
no NWA,
yeah,
or ROH. That's all entertainment. And WWE is the only product that I feel like combines the both, in my opinion. And tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, but like in my opinion, it combines the both to like the best of what it is.
yeah,
Right? They have the sports entertainment part down, but they don't have everything else. Like I'd love to buy a EC3 T-shirt or something like that, but they
yeah.
don't have that. Like, and WWE just I feel like has a monopoly on that stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you. They have a monopoly on that portion of it, and the option is to either stop watching wrestling because AEW just isn't going to scratch that itch that you're looking for when you're looking for a WWE like product, and they know that there's no real competition with them. I'm hoping that this move to Paramount, because the Paramount execs, they know this market. You know, they still
Yeah,
have people from the Spike TV hangover days. They got the UFC over there now. Hopefully, and AEW can still be enough fun because they don't have TKO involved. It's just Paramount.
it's
Uh,
just the guy that owns the Jaguars' his son.
yeah, Tony Khan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tony Khan. Um, but yeah, I hope that this move to Paramount can really boost what they're doing and maybe force WWE to step it up because we're never gonna see their prices change. They're never gonna
I
go back.
I hope they do. Maybe it's just a popularity thing now. Maybe because it's 1 year on Netflix, they were like, "Oh, this is the big boom. We have a lot of viewers, so we can raise the price and stuff." But I think like after WrestleMania and stuff this year, they'll be like, "Oh, we're really not." You know what I mean?
But
Like giving away tickets to the Royal Rumble is different because it's in Riyadh.
yeah,
But giving away like not selling out WrestleMania,
not selling out Chamber.
yeah,
I mean,
like
having to drop.
you're gonna be like, okay, let's lower our prices so the common man can afford them.
Well, you think that, but then sorry, you think that though, but then you again back to MMA. You look at UFC; their prices skyrocketing, continuing to do the same thing, continuing to water down the product, and we haven't seen it. We've seen fan backlash when they go to Australia. They're not selling out; they're having to cut ticket prices, but they're not cutting them to a point that it makes a difference. And I just think that this TKO takeover that we have Mark Shapiro continuing to talk about maximizing the dollar, maximizing what we can get for every show, for everything. They're charging fees for them to come to cities now on top of their insanely high gates. And it seems like a never ending cycle of this is the bad side of capitalism. Like,
Yeah, we're in the end stages of capitalism where like we're not. I don't know. Like
the user does not have the voice that usually in capitalism the thought is well people won't buy your thing if you're not putting out something they like but now
it's the only thing that is for me is enjoyable. I know I have a bunch of people that like AEW, and so I just don't find it enjoyable. And it sucks because like it's the only game in town for like if I'm showing someone wrestling, I'm not gonna show them any of the new stuff until like they watch it for a couple weeks. So I'm showing them stuff from the early 2000s, the mid 2000s, the late 90s, like stuff like that to really like get the story like
when it
show
was
the
fun.
storytelling. Yeah, but now like oh yeah, hey hey Ben 10, sit next to me for this 3 hour long Raw episode
Yeah,
on a Monday night and watch 4 matches with me.
yeah. There's gonna be a lot of talking, and if you watch it all year, all you got to ask if you take a month off between is who's beefing now.
Yeah,
And it seems like every beef is just so replayed. It's just all right. These two are beefing. You have what I want. It's so replayed, or you screwed me over. But there's no real heat to it. Austin and Rock had real heat. Batista and Taker had real heat. Shawn
yeah.
Michaels and Cena had real heat going on. They built the stories up.
Are we getting to a point where like wrestling's kind of getting stale in storylines? Like, there's no new storylines being able to be created, or like, are the creatives at WWE just too incompetent to create new storylines, so they just recycle old ones? Is that you think that's where we're at?
I think that's where we're at. I think that it's getting a little stale. I still love the wrestling and everything, but it is frustrating to see the same 8, 12 guys cycling through a feud, the same reason, oh you screwed me over, or you took my opportunity, or I got hurt and you came in and took what should be mine. It's there's no layers to it. It's all surface level beef.
Yeah, and do you think as a grown adult this is this is how we're seeing it? But I like
So you can
I
say
don't know
that.
if your kids feel the same way, or like if random kids feel the same, like, oh, this is the best thing ever. Oh my god, I can't wait to watch Monday Night Raw and Friday Night Smack. Like, are we saying that because we know what the product used to look like and we're seeing it again and we're just
Well, so I say this, I can go back and have a lot of fun watching old wrestling matches, old SmackDown, old Raw shows. I can have a lot of fun doing that. You don't have the same kind of fun. And it might be the nostalgia factor, but my daughter watches wrestling, and she even, especially in this break between Chamber and Mania, she's going to fall out of it and come back for Mania because it just she's she's like, "Oh, they're just they did this last week." Or
yeah.
it's and it you know it's not
There's
entertaining.
just
It's
there's too many unks at the head of the table.
yeah, and it doesn't captivate the audience. It's not captivating my daughter, at least the young people. I
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just want to like I want to see like like I don't. All right, pause. Um, I would like to see the reactions of like a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old or someone that's watched WrestleMania for or wrestling for a year, 2 years, and see how they react to a weekly episode. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I don't have anybody in my life that is 6 that watches wrestling.
Well,
Because they'd be cool and they'd be at my house every week. But
I just think like you you give them the same thing every week. It's hard to captivate that audience. It's hard to bring a kid in to be like, oh, let's watch this, and then there's nothing happening, or there's 4 matches in 3 hours.
do you, and a part of that also, like, do you think it's the internet that's ruined it, like being on our phones all the time that's ruined that in our short attention span, or is it like
Well, so I don't have any social media on my phone.
it's because you lost all the passwords to everything?
Well, it's been a good thing. It's been about a year, but I have Twitter on my computer and I scroll through that a little
X.
bit. X, yeah. But I tell you, it's not the feeling I get after the fact. It's the emptiness I have when I'm watching the product. A lot of times, you can get caught up in it, and it's great when that happens, like the Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns thing when that was going down. That was great. Like MJF when he's on a title run, it's great. There's great things that can happen, but so much of the majority of it is just like it's falling flat. It's so much filler anymore. And I think back to, let's go to Attitude Era or Ruthless Aggression Era. SmackDown when Batista and Undertaker were feuding. That was a huge story. Under that story, you had MVP and Matt Hardy doing fun shit every single week. That was super cool. You also had Mr. Kennedy You had the Spirit Squad doing random shit at that time. You had Festus. You had Eugene before Festus. You had fun stuff happening. There's no fun anymore. The funnest thing they have, as far as people go, you have Danhausen's, R-Truths, and Otis, but they're still kind of being held back. You know, R-Truth gets his time on the mic and can do his thing, but Otis can't be the funny person that Otis needs to be and be given these tag team match
Yeah,
opportunities.
and maybe that's why they brought Danhausen in to be more of a comedic character, something like that. Like,
I think that they have I wholeheartely believe they have the intent of doing that. I think when it comes down to it, though, there's too many hands in the fire, and it's
yeah,
gonna get muted, and that's the problem. Is
there's too many hands in the cookie jar. There's too many Chiefs and not enough Indians.
exactly there's too
That might
many.
have been a poorly taste reference, but
India wasn't even
our
founded.
four viewers are gonna light me up in the comments.
India wasn't even founded, but when Columbus called them Indian, that meant something else at the time. But Columbus, bad guy. Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. That's a good way of putting it, because you got all these big top level dudes in the writing room. You got Abyss, you got Bruce Pritchard, you got Triple H.
Yeah, and I mean, look at some of the women's matches. Like, I brought it up right after the Rumble, right? The people that are doing the women's matches are people like Jamie Noble and, um, oh my goodness, Robert Roode,
Yeah.
the younger guys that are making these decisions for the women's match, and it's just a banger,
Yeah.
right? And so then you go to the men's match, and you can tell it's written by old people: Michael Hayes, Bruce Pritchard.
They're
I,
trying to do the same thing they did 20 years ago, but
yeah,
they don't have the same fire that they do. So they're
oh,
writing a script.
or they don't have any new idea. I mean, it's just like the old CEO that's holds onto his company for too long, and
I was gonna say
they're running the same problems.
yeah, think about when you start a new job and you hit the ground running, and you're like, all right, this is awesome, and then you kind of lose motivation after a couple months, and you're like, okay, well,
Yeah,
and
I got it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you figure out how to do it, and everything is on autopilot, and that's what it seems like in the men's creative in the writing room. Because granted, we haven't had a CM Punk Roman Reigns angle, but we've had CM Punk with everybody else already. We've had Roman with literally everybody.
Yeah, and I think like even what they're doing with like Obafemi and Kit Wilson and Zack Ryder, I think that stuff's great, and I don't think it's the unks producing it.
Yeah,
Like, I think all the good products are the people, the younger writers, um, who are still old for somehow, writing it. Like back in the days when you used to walk through a match or run through a match, like I don't I don't know. I just think something's got to change, and it's got to change at the TKO level. I think I don't think
they need to get TKO out of the creative or out of the decision make. Let TKO
I
charge what they're
I
gonna
I
charge.
don't even like I think TKO needs to like be like I don't
They're horrible for
yeah
the sport. They're horrible for
for a
wrestling,
lot of
for
things,
MMA.
right?
They're
Because
they're great business to be involved in.
yeah, being a holdings company for like you own 51% of both UFC and WWE.
Yeah,
Like, no wonder all your you know
yeah,
all your prices are outrageous for everything because you hold the two biggest crowns
yeah.
in their industries.
You own two monopolies.
Yeah, and
Like,
I mean, and that's what it is. Like, granted, they're not true monopolies because there is other wrestling and there is other
you could call them a
MMA.
monopsony.
Yeah,
Like,
but who's turning into street beefs
yeah,
on Wednesday nights on
yeah,
the CW? You
or
know what I mean?
LFA on CB or on Vice TV. Who's tuning in?
Like who's doing this? You know what I mean? The real diehards like Matt are, but
Yeah, but
like the average viewer's not. Like,
the average viewer is not even tuning into a UFC fight night in the Apex anymore,
yeah,
because it's who cares, and most of them aren't even tuning into the PLEs because again, who cares? They just UFC got their buck, TKO got their buck, so they just have to put a product out. They have their dates sold. They'll put the fighters in as it goes along. So they're not building events around fighters or around people. And WWE is doing the same thing. They're relying on those three letters, WWE. They're not selling things off of the matches.
yeah, and I'll equate it to college football, right? If you look at both these companies, right, and it's like they're building schedule in college football, right?
Yeah.
They're going to make the most cupcake schedule that they can to go undefeated so they can go to the playoffs and go to the national championship.
Right.
Like, they don't have to do much. They just have to beat Akron. They have
Yeah.
to beat Akron and Kent State and
Yeah.
Bowling Green
Absolutely.
and half the MAC. If you beat half the MAC and you're a school and you're in the SEC and you win 6 SEC games, you're undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, we especially saw it a lot when WWE first started going to Saudi Arabia, and they were just shipping those shows in.
They're getting their blood money.
Yeah,
Like,
and now we see TKO doing it with every show with UFC. They're like, oh, we'll hold these people back for the White House event.
yeah.
We already have our dates sold.
Which who's on the White House card?
They haven't announced anything yet.
But do you think it's going to be a bang? Like, that's a once in a lifetime card. Like, just like the first match in the Sphere, or the first fight card in the Sphere,
I think,
right? Wasn't that a banger?
well, it was kind of a letdown card. The main event and the co-main sucked, and the card wasn't really that great. It was a cool spectacle, and I think that's what we're gonna get at the White House because UFC doesn't have stars anymore, and especially U.S. stars. 'Cause
You don't think Conor McGregor versus Gaethje?
No, he won't fight Gaethje because Gaethje has a interim title. So like Conor McGregor, you could put him on there, but there's issues with the contract. They're not allowed to profit from this because it's the White House and everything. So they're not going to have. They don't want to take money out of their pockets to pay McGregor. So they're going to try to put him on the card after that.
You think John Jones is going to be on the card?
There's rumors that it's going to be.
Is he going to be out of jail?
There's rumors it'll be John Jones versus Alex Pereira.
John Jones should just go to the WWE because
He's got bad hips.
yeah, but you can have as many DUIs as you want there.
Yeah,
Be,
yeah, he'd be. But you can in the UFC too.
yeah, I mean, I guess you're not really driving anywhere to beat people up.
Yeah. So
And I heard WWE pays a little bit better than the UFC does.
Somehow those UFC fighters are just now realizing.
We talk about this all the time. That it's just too capitalistic, and it's too make it fun, dude. Make it real, because it's still real to me.
Yeah, like don't let the writers worry about what the shareholders are saying or what the stock price is saying. Just let the writers run with what they're doing, and if it's not working, then take it out. But you gotta cut the leash and just let the story play out.
You're not losing money when you're backed by Netflix.
Yeah.
When Netflix pays you a bunch of money, you're not going to lose money on traveling to shows and making tickets affordable.
You know, my biggest thing, I thought WWE was going to get so much fun when it went to Netflix. When this first all happened,
I haven't heard one F-bomb.
No, I haven't heard one F-bomb. I was like, there's going to be blood. There's going to be chair shots again because they're not.
There's going to be blood and beer.
There, you thought, but not even in the slightest. Name dropping, but not even in the slightest do we get that.
I mean, we get a couple bloody noses and but
it's just.
I still think they're trying to keep that PG-13-esque.
It's just but that's not even what I'm worried about. It's like when they went to Netflix, I was like, oh, the cuffs are off. They're on Netflix. They can do whatever. And instead of like going back to that ruthless aggression attitude era where there's some things that you can't take from that.
They just kept them in the same box that they were on TV.
It was like they got more safe. It was like when things would happen on TV, it would really blow up on the internet because people were like, oh shit, they just said that on cable television.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like they don't even do shit that makes you say oh shit. Or the rare times they do once or twice a year, it does blow up. But I mean, there's people I've talked to that love wrestling, and they're out on WWE now because they can't keep up with the PLEs, cable, with the Netflix as well. Not just paying, but just bouncing from subscription to subscription to find the shit. It's so watered down. It's so spread out, so they can get every last dollar, and they're not giving us more for the dollar. They're giving us so much less.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree, and it's making my blood boil.
Yeah,
talking about
SmackDown used to be a 2-hour show with 6 matches and
3 hours with 4 matches. Like, what are you doing with that extra hour?
Yeah, you're giving us AJ Lee promos every week. You're giving us Roman Reigns coming out once a month to do a promo with CM Punk, and then you have all these vignettes and all these side things in the back. But when we go to that, it just isn't anything. It's a whole lot of nothing. It's Jade Cargill, like you said, choke slamming Selena Vega or something, or it's the Judgment Day just plotting and scheming and nothing. When you think about it, when we cut to the Judgment Day, we don't learn shit. Nothing that they do, it doesn't lead to like, oh, there might be fractures in the Judgment Day or they're solid. It's just filler.
Them playing video games on a playing the new WWE 2K.
Yeah, it's just
on the
filler.
couch.
Or them talking to me and like, okay, yeah, you have a match tonight. You have a match tonight. You need to go home and get some rest. It's like, what? Why even show this?
Yeah.
Like,
And I get it. You have to have some fillers to, people got to get up and refill their Diet Cokes and their.
but like, give me a 2-hour show with 4 matches if you're gonna do that.
Yeah, there's no reason why a show should be 3 hours. Like literally, Monday Night Raw started at 8 and it ended at 11.
Yeah,
And for the last hour, I don't think there was a match.
yeah, it was ridiculous because I watched from 8 to 9:45 that night, and then I watched the rest today, and I was like, oh, I didn't miss jack shit.
I missed a promo that I could have watched on the internet.
Yeah, I should have just watched Roman Reigns promo on the internet, and the show started off great. We'll wrap things up here, but show started off great on Monday, and then it just sizzled because you end with nothing happening other than a Roman promo, which was great.
And I mean, the matches. I didn't think the matches were bad, but everything in between it, just like and I've gotten to the point where I start watching at 9:30 just so I can fast forward
through the bullshit,
all the commercials, dude.
I know. I mean,
We're on Netflix. Why are there commercials on Netflix?
3.5-minute commercials.
Like why are we watching commercials on Netflix?
Yeah.
How many times am I gonna see the Simply Lemonade Jey Uso commercial or the LA Knight cricket commercial?
Or my favorite, the Hydra Donita Superativa commercial that I see 3 or 4 times a fucking commercial.
I don't think I get that one.
I'm not quite sure.
Is that the one where they're on a mountain, like they're a road in the mountain?
Dude, every medication is like that. But yeah,
but like, how many Snap Into a Slim Jims with Jey Uso and LA Knight am I gonna see? Like, or Bianca Belair with the Cricket Wireless lady cutting her hair. Like, slay.
Yeah.
Slay. Like,
just,
why is there fucking commercials on Netflix?
It's because they need every dollar.
But they want to take all of our monies.
Yeah, I mean, you get probably 40 minutes of commercial on these shows because it's every 8 minutes. It seems like that you have a commercial after
you have
the
20-minute promos, and half of it's Jey Uso yeeting his way to the ring.
Yeah, or AJ Lee getting up there, and she just does not have connection with the crowd. I mean, her talking, and then she'll say something and go like this.
Yeah, woo, yeah.
But the crowd doesn't get it.
Like, I don't know how the most recent WWE event you went to, but like when they get out and do those promos and stuff, like that's when I get up and I go to the merch stand or I go get go get me another Mountain Dew.
Yeah, because if it's not Roman or Punk or Cody,
no one's gonna jump them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And if it does, you're gonna hear their music and then you're gonna peek your head back in and watch what's going to happen.
Yeah, like, and you can tell when they are gonna get jumped. Like,
you mentioned someone's name and their music hits.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Owens talks about it. Like, you're not supposed to come out yet. You're not supposed to. We didn't even say your name. Like,
yeah,
there's the unwritten rules that like, okay, now's a safe time to go. Refill and
Yeah, and it's just they've lost the magic, and I hate that we're ending the episode like this, but it has been. I mean, the whole Chamber build, the matches delivered, but again, you're giving us 3 hours and 4 matches.
And at the same time, like, if you're gonna injure somebody on the Friday night before the Chamber, why is he coming back out on Monday?
Yeah, I mean,
like,
it's just
like,
lazy.
Why are you coming back out on Monday?
Tells us that you realize Jey Uso's not over, but you refuse to fully put him away. And I think that's all we got for you. It's still real to me, damn it.
It's still real to me, damn it. Wrestling's gonna turn around the next week, and
the road to WrestleMania is looking bright. We hope.
Yeah, it
started
started Monday. Week. It was Monday. Sunday Scaries, Monday Monsters. Friday's gonna be better. Next week's gonna be better, and WrestleMania's 6 weeks away. So
that's all we got. W.GG Blood Beer BSN promo code 10% off. It's the shit. Energy scoops. No crash, no jitters, just clean energy, helps you focus. W.GG, promo code BloodBeerBSN gets you 10% off, and it really helps us out.
See you next week, folks.
Have a great one.